boom.
What do you do?
It says live. There's no. Oh, hey, there we are. We should be live now. This is definitely Ride the Wave show style liveness. Yeah, no, Adam it says live right here,
Yeah, it does say live.
and then we go here, stream.
This is awful. This is the worst thing in the whole wide world.
Yes,
that
it
could happen
is,
to
Adam.
anybody.
Yes, it is. Oh, but we are live. Sweet. So, welcome into the Ride the Wave show. Let's go ahead, Adam, and get the show plan started. Yeah, there we go.
How many times did you say that?
About 5 times already. So, as you guys can see, we couldn't have Sid the Squid here tonight to save us from this catastrophe. But, hey, we got it rolling here. So, we'd like to thank, again, Richie's for hanging out. We got some delicious pizza, some delicious wings in here. Really trying not to scream, but, man, does it look super good, Adam. And I'm going to ask you that question mid-bite like every great server would. You know what they say, the best way to compliment a chef is to not be able to say anything because that's how good the food is, from what I've heard.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I took a small bite there.
All right. Okay, so, Adam, let's go ahead and get to the games that we are looking out for this week. I have a few of them. I'll start off with one of them. The big one that I'm looking at to start off is actually right here in Pike County. It's going to be Miami Trace versus Waverly. Just because last year, we all know how it ended, Waverly having that huge hook and ladder play I'm pretty sure that actually propelled them to the win. Let me double check my notes
You're
here.
talking about against Yoda?
No, so Waverly did that against Miami Trace. Miami Trace comes back and does it to them and then beats them 27-26. Kind of like Yoda did, where they start off with it and then – so that was a play that they had in
I
the
don't know
bag
anything
for
about
them.
that Waverly Miami Trace game other than it was a close one and it ended kind of weirdly. So
Yes.
I'm looking forward to that one as well.
I'm looking forward to – the big thing that I'm looking forward to out of Waverly is life without Jace Hurd. He was a huge part of what they tried to do last year, huge part of why they won last year. I am excited to see who steps up.
I'm ready to see Mason Kelly score about a bazillion touchdowns.
Yes, I'm also to see David Sparks go off for a good
Now, did anybody pick Sparks up?
I did, actually. And so I was about to get into that. We actually have the waiver wire for our fantasy league results here. Carson Peters, the wide receiver out of Eastern, and Jason Reinhart picked up by the Wright brothers by Tony Belmonte.
Those wings are delicious.
Yeah, maybe we should eat them after the show, Adam. But, no, they both get picked up by the Wright brothers, Tony Belmonte. Those are going to be two big pickups for him. While, Hud's Hooligans has a unique approach here. He drops Gavin Kaufman, the quarterback from Washington Courthouse, picks up Jace Reinhart, wide receiver out of Paint Valley, leaves him
If you're
down.
going to drop anybody from Washington Courthouse, this is the week to drop them.
Yes, I'm a little baffled. Not by Jace Reinhart is going to be a great pickup there.
Side note: did you get the bourbon sriracha and barbecue?
Yes,
I think those are the bourbon sriracha, and they are pretty fire.
like fire as in like your mouth's on fire.
No, like take one like right now.
Oh no, no, but Jace Reinhart is going to be a great pickup. Wide receiver wise, I'm not questioning the pickup of the player. I'm questioning the drop of the quarterback, not picking up another quarterback there. In a super flex league where you can have two quarterbacks out in your starting lineup, what are your thoughts on dropping a quarterback, only having one on your lineup?
Well, I mean, usually quarterbacks in general, especially in Southern Ohio, is you're going to get a more like option, run-heavy attack. I don't want to say option, but dual-threat quarterbacks more so. Like, you got to look at a guy like Newton Hoops last year,
Yeah.
was primarily a throwing the ball quarterback, but still put in ground touchdowns. Like if they got into the red zone, they had I don't know exactly what the formation it was that they ran, but it looked like it was more like almost like an ace tight with like two lead blockers.
Yeah.
It just let Newt just run it right up the middle essentially. It's kind of like a QB sneak, but I don't know if they're going to do something like that. Yoda-wise, but
Right.
you got a lot of quarterbacks that do score the ball.
Preston Faber. I mean, whenever you get inside that 5, 95% of the time it's going to Braylon.
He could take the ball out. Like they run. I feel like they got a more like dual threat kind of quarterback system than
Yes.
anybody else because They can throw it to Free, yeah. They can hand it to Braylon, but then he can also move. He's got
Yes,
move.
and that's what I think we were kind of saying there is where, especially in Southern Ohio, do you really want to – because you're going to be doubling up with that quarterback. You're going to be getting the passing yards, the passing touchdowns. But like you said, you're going to be getting the rushing yards and the rushing touchdowns. But, just Coach Hudnall, HUD's Hooligans, is a Paint Valley guy. They did just scrimmage Washington Courthouse a week ago. So did he go out there and maybe see something from Courthouse that he wasn't liking, or –
Well, also you got to think a lot of these receivers are going to be playing dual threats, like a guy like Caden Cutright, who is going to be a monster on the defensive side, can also catch a touchdown pass on the offensive side. So he could be looking at it as that. It's like the same way you got a dual threat quarterback, airing it out and, running the ball, keeping it on the ground. You kind of have a dual threat wide receiver spot being like the guys that are Iron Man, so to speak.
Sean Terry.
Yeah.
He's going to get a lot of fantasy points because they do a lot of reverses and jet sweeps with him.
Yeah, I think because we were looking at his touchdowns last year, and there was about 9 of them that were just not accounted for.
Yeah.
So we don't know how many of those were pick sixes.
Yeah,
so
pick sixes.
That's 8 points.
Or rushing touchdowns, like you said. And so that's the yards with it.
I thought we found out rushing and passing.
Oh, yeah, we did. My corrections, yes. Now, to get on Mason Sparks, I'm pretty happy that I was able to sneak him. He went undrafted, made me feel a little bit more confident to pick him up there. It's not the player, it's not the ability, it's the way fantasy works. They got 3 studs out there at wide receiver for the Waverly Tigers.
And I'm pretty sure he's technically listed as a tight end, which would fit into our wide receiver spot.
Yes. There's just not enough tight ends, around the league for us to make that designated
spot.
spot.
Tight end, like a guy like, I don't know, Ben Hartsock, guy would just tap on to where, like, you're going to be an amazing just athlete, like, levels above people strength-wise. You got the strength of an offensive lineman, but the grace of a wide receiver. Then, you're probably going to catch some passes as quote-unquote a tight end, so we got you for some run blocks. So.
Exactly. Another tight end to look out for is Cooper out of Paint Valley. How does he fit into his role? He had to miss a lot of last year.
Adam, they had a tight end last year by the name of Reinhardt, I believe. That I felt like he did a lot of defensive stuff. He's kind of like an unsung hero. Yeah, it was Jace Reinhardt.
Yeah, that's what. So we have him down as wide receiver. I think he's making that transition from tight end to wide receiver. But I think you're right. He could be back in that tight end role that we saw him. But he's more of a defensive powerhouse.
When you see a guy like that, they're going to line up as tight end probably in run sets, and you might see him split out as like the slot receiver. Which is typically, I'm pretty sure it's typically a faster receiver you want in your slot, but I don't mind playing like the big tight end in not necessarily at the slot, but in a slot split.
Yeah, because I feel like when you put him in the slot, it's easy for him to do that crack back block down on the defensive end. Yeah. Probably a better block. With that momentum,
and especially if you have them in the blocking, if you have them in tight end sets, as a runner, when you split them out, they're automatically thinking pass, and you get them with a crackback like that. It's just it's a lethal hit.
It was, it is. So that is our fantasy transactions going over the week. I do believe we have the matchups. I can pull up right here real quick. So week 1. HUD's Hooligans plays the Wright brothers. So 2 teams that are very active in the fantasy transactions this week. I want to see how that matchup ends up there.
And Arch Street, you're playing against Uncle Billy's Bummers.
So I'm glad we're here. So Bill Callahan gave me the backstory on the Uncle Billy's Bummers.
Okay.
Very long-winded answer, so I'm going to sum it up very quickly, but I'll more off-air conversation for you. But basically, Uncle Billy was a sergeant in, I believe, what was the Civil War, and was just a straight-up badass. So, he was taking people down to, marching them down to Georgia and I can't remember, Tennessee and a lot of places like that, and pretty much went into every single battle and just whooped ass. And then his soldiers, they would be called, were called his bummers because they could only be described as looking like just straight, bum, like they're smoking cigarettes,
they were known for bum rushing their opponents.
It would be like if a bunch of bums just came in and you're like, oh, these guys, and then they just whooped your ass.
It'd be like if somebody was invading America and we rounded up all the homeless. It was like, go whoop them.
And they never lost, which to your point would probably be true if we got all the crackheads and just said, it's your time to shine. But yes, Uncle Billy's Bummers is playing me, Artistry Archers. I would like to say I have that one locked up, but I said that a lot last year and did not win a lot.
I'm playing the Creekside Crushers myself. Who
Yes.
there it is.
Yes, which, you being with the number one pick, you have to be a heavy favorite going into the season. But a lot of people have been looking at that Creekside Crushers team saying that they could be, I don't even say a dark horse at this point. I think they have to be the early season favorites to kind of dethrone you.
It's kind of like, for me, I feel like the two best spots to go is either first, obviously, like I did, or I want to say he had third or fourth.
Yes, he did.
So he was like right in the middle. So you got a lot of the meat and potatoes picks.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't want to be in a position like Tony, unfortunately. It was just kind of unfortunate for him.
Yes, but I think where Tony picks up Carson Peters as a sleeper and then Jason Reinhardt, he might have two free where he's first in the waiver wire. Week one, he's definitely going to get that step up on us.
He definitely killed the waiver wire.
But I think to your point where you're Todd, you're sitting there at the third pick, especially with me having a bunch of anxiety, it's like, man, I'm between like 2 or 3 players. I don't know which one to pick. You kind of just let one fall to you. You know what I mean? So you're like, I'll let the first 2 teams make their decisions. I'm going to be happy with whatever that third guy is that falls in my lap. I'm going to take him. But on the flip side of that, you could have it where all 3 fall to you, and then you're still stuck with a decision on who am I going to take.
Yeah, like my clear number 1 picks for me was it was crazy that I got Nolan Johnson. He was the only other person I was debating on taking number 1.
Yeah.
I mean, he's committed to Army. He's
Yes.
a soldier.
Yeah.
Like,
he might be Uncle Billy's Bummers.
Yeah, like he's badass. And he's a Jackson Ironman, so But yeah, the fact, like you said, sometimes they just all fall to you.
So yeah, I'm really excited to see where it goes week one. Kind of like we talked about on our show Tuesday. Really hard to do a lot of predictions, a lot of how we think people will play, because there's just way too many question marks going into week one. Now, Adam, I do have a couple of fantasy sleepers. I'll kind of go first here, and I'm actually going to ring the bell again on Carson Peters, that wide receiver from Eastern. Nobody drafted him. I even think I had him in my top 5. Or if I didn't, I have him like right outside, maybe my top 6 wide receivers. And, it just never fell right for me. I felt like maybe later in the later rounds I should have taken a shot on him. But I like those last 2 rounds to be like, man, like I'm going to throw a huge risk, huge reward kind of thing there.
It's funny is when I was into my draft, I'm pretty sure, did I not get Eastern's quarterback?
You did, Eric Manley.
Yeah,
yes.
I got it, which we know that they're going to be airing it out, so Peters is just a great
yes,
asset on that offense.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I drafted their running back, and I'm pretty sure I drafted him, and he's going to be a block running back. Don't think they're going to be running the ball a whole lot. I mean, they
still could catch it out of the backfield.
They're going to have some Capital One miles on their offense in this coming year. So I definitely want to bang the drum on him. Not too long though, because there's 2 running backs that I want to talk. One is from the SVC, one's from the FAC. The first one.
Oh, my mic might be turned down.
Oh. Sorry. And there we go. But one starting in the SVC, since we're in Piketon, I'm going to talk about him. And it's going to be Buddy Wilson. For how good he was this year, it's kind of weird to say sleep because he definitely came early in the draft. I think he was a first-round pick, but we have literally not talked about him at all.
Yeah. And I want to say he kind of fell later than I anticipated in that first round. He wanted to go.
I think he fell all the way to Todd. Yes, because Todd doubled up with him and Luke Golian, which is kind of it's a weird strategy because whenever they get inside that 5, you're getting the touchdown, whether it's a running touchdown or it's a passing touchdown. Who are you missing out on, though? Because if only one of those people are going to get a touchdown, you're kind of missing out on one position to where if you had, like, say, whoever the quarterback's going to be in the Piketon running back.
To stay with Piketon, if you have a guy like like you said,
yeah,
you're talking about different people. I thought you were talking about, like, the same. I was like, well, yeah, you could get a guy like, Wade Fouts, so that way you could maybe possibly double up on touchdowns.
True, because then because then if you have the wide receiver, you have the wide receiver touchdown, you have the quarterback touchdown. So that kind of saves face there for you a little bit. When you get that quarterback running back though, you're kind of putting all your eggs into one basket.
Now,
there.
did we see a lot of screens from Piketon last year? I can't really recall.
I'm not sure they were a huge screen kind of team. I feel like they were more. Their big runs are more off of just after pounding it for so long that the gates finally flooded open. I don't think not saying that they never did do screens, but I do think that they kind of were away from screens more than they were.
Yeah, well, just the reason I was thinking is like if they were screen heavy, maybe Creek Sky Crushers got a little bit more insight than we do. Maybe they're going to see some.
I didn't think about
a little
that.
bit more passing touchdowns,
Yes.
quarterback to running back, which again you're doubling down that way.
Yeah.
You know.
So I am excited to see Buddy Wilson, but another one that I want to talk about here, Adam, before we get to yours, is Sean Smith from Chillicothe. Just because I took him pretty late, still put him in my starting lineup because this kid is an absolute athlete. He's an absolute stud, probably one of the fastest kids I've ever seen play the game. He has just been dealing with injuries since he stepped foot on the field as a freshman. But, you know, talking with some sources, actually talking to him a little bit, I think that those injuries could finally be in the past. And if they are, I know they have a gruesome schedule, but he's going to be their bell cow to give them points.
That's something that scares me is a guy like Smith, you know, playing those. They start off Bloom Carroll, then London, so they got basically they're playing 2 NFL teams right off the rip.
Yes.
So
yes.
Ideally, they're playing 2 Division III college teams right off the rip, you know, and a guy that's got injury problems. I don't want to say injury problems, but has been prone to, you know, maybe the minor injury, the turf toe, the injuries that are just going to nag you over a season that, like, maybe they don't keep you sidelined the whole season, but they're definitely persistent and they're there and they're bugging you the whole season.
And it might not keep you out from a whole game, but it's going to keep you out of some plays.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean?
So that stuff like that always worries me, just because it's like, you know, like London is just a powerhouse.
Yes.
I keep going back to Bloom Carroll, just another powerhouse. Again, unless they're having some bad years since I've seen them.
No,
but,
they are not.
Those guys
10-3 last year.
Yeah, they just never really
Third
had
loss
bad years
in the playoffs. So,
shout out Tony though for letting me know that my mic was a little quiet.
Yes,
there
shout out
and
Tony.
get it
Thank you.
fixed.
If it is not fixed,
He
let
gave
us
us a thumbs up like
Oh,
it was,
cool.
so I assume it is.
well, you know, we try to be good at this, and sometimes we fail. But you know who doesn't fail is 2 players from Unioto ready to bring it back, Blake Hoops and Marcel James. How's it going, guys? Get your mics on here for you. We got some pizza and wings if you need to grab a slice or something before we get out of here. All righty. Can you guys hear us all right?
Yes, sir.
Cool, because that's what we have been sucking at all night. One thing you guys have not been sucking at the past few years, though, is winning. So, Blake, I'm going to start with you. Week 1, we're right back Vinton County. Everybody knows, I mean, it's going to be a hard-nosed defensive battle. What has practice been like this week leading up to this Week 1 matchup?
Practice has been good. I think the guys are focused, and they're really locked in on starting the season off right with a win. So I think it's been really good.
Marcel?
Like Blake said, we're just very focused.
Yeah? Now, I got to ask Marcel because, you know, most kids, whenever they're in high school, they wake up and they have breakfast with, like, you know, some cereal, maybe some bacon and eggs. I feel like you're eating offensive linemen for breakfast of a way that you're just absolutely tearing through that offensive line.
Yeah.
Tell me what your approach is when you're out there on the field. What's going through your mind, man? Because when I was out there playing, I was just like, hit guy in front of me, and hopefully he doesn't kick my ass.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just really like you just want to give it your all.
Yeah. It's got to be because, you know, when you think of that Unioto program, I mean, you've been part of it now. Kind of going into my next question here. You guys heard about the tradition. I mean, last year was building up. Finally, you get that gold ball. You get that championship under your belt. Marcel, I'll ask you first, then Blake. What is it like this year going into, instead of the target, you having the target on somebody else's back like Zane Trace, the target's on your back now? How have you guys kind of, you know, adjusted your approach or the feeling going into this year?
I mean, we just thought about and used it, like,
Yeah?
to get better.
Blake?
Yeah, I mean, really it doesn't change for us. I've said it all off season that we only focus about ourselves and don't worry about the opponent. Just winning the gold ball, I mean, doesn't really change much. Our goals and our mindset doesn't change at all.
He's like, yeah, I have one gold ball. I just want to look at Newt and be like, guess what? I have 2. who doesn't have 2? You. Now, I got to ask you, you know, we always talk about Zane Trace, and we talk about them and you guys pretty much being the huge rivalry in the SVC. I feel like when you go outside the SVC, though, I mean, Adam has lived it. You guys have lived it. Week 1, Vinton County. I mean, it's always a circle on the people's schedule that's not even in the game. What is it like kind of playing that game? Because I feel like it's always a good test for you guys Week 1. Blake?
I think they're just one of the more physical teams we'll play all season. I mean, the last 3 years I've played them, they're just really physical,
Yeah.
nasty guys. So it's a challenge, but it's a great way to start the season.
Now, Marcel, I hear physical, I hear nasty. I feel like that's right up your alley. I feel like you're about to have a great game this Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I gotta ask you. Okay, we are on the Ride the Wave show. You guys know that this is where hardcore journalism comes in. All right. So we got a few questions that we gotta get into you first. I gotta ask. College football 25 finally came out. You guys play it yet?
Yep.
Yeah, it's amazing. Who would you say the best Madden or college football player is on the team? That's not you two.
I'd have to say probably Micah Strange.
Oh,
one of the guys.
okay.
I've played him a few times, and he's pretty good.
All right, Marcel?
Same with Blake.
Same. All right, so Adam, you got to play Micah so we can see.
Now, real quick, what's your guys' go-to team to use when you guys are playing?
I use Kansas a lot.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. That's
'cause
one you don't hear a whole lot.
They're
Ohio
Wildcat
State Buckeyes.
formation.
Yeah, big
Hey.
Ohio State guy.
You always got to go with your hometown.
Right. Okay, so now we got a would you rather for you guys. All right, this is a great one. I couldn't pick myself, so I'm hoping you guys can pick. Would you rather eat a whole pound of mayo or mustard?
Oh, that is awful.
Yeah, that's what I said. I couldn't even pick between the two. It was terrible. So that's why I thought it had to be in the show. They both start with an M. That's the only thing I could come up with.
What are you picking?
It'd probably be mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise?
I would
Why are you
pick
going with
mustard.
mayonnaise?
I mean, because it's not sour.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. What about you,
I
Blake?
don't know. Like the texture of mayonnaise is
That's
disgusting.
that's my thing. I feel like
hate
you
it.
went with mustard because you could probably drink it.
Yeah.
Drink
You
a pound of
can
it fast.
definitely-
as
yeah.
you
I
can.
just
like
imagine
this.
him over there with like one of those like Heinz mustards,
Yeah.
just down the.
If I had to eat chunks of mayonnaise, I would probably be crying the whole time I was doing it.
I feel like you'd be almost people if you didn't have the mayonnaise out, they'd be like, "Are you eating glue?" Like
Yeah.
it's just the way that it looks. I think I'd have to go mayonnaise just because you guys say you couldn't do it for the texture. I feel like I'd want to try and have to at least chew it. I don't know, man.
This is
Maybe I
coming
could
from a
trick
guy-
my brain into thinking it's mashed potatoes.
No, that would ruin mashed potatoes for me. This is coming from a guy that like me. If I get mustard on a sandwich like accidentally, I'm just throwing the sandwich away. I'm not eating it. But I would rather drink 2 pounds of
But you-
mustard before mayo, dude.
That
No.
is disgusting. Okay, who's your guys' favorite superhero? I feel like that's a big question. Do we have one?
I don't know.
I
I'm
feel
not
like-
into that.
I feel like yours has to be the Hulk. You guys resembling you just beating ass out there. Just it makes sense for you. Blake,
I don't know. Probably
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
I like that one.
That's a
I'm a
solid
big
one.
big Spider-Man guy. Big Spider-Man. You know it wouldn't be us without the start bench cut. That's kind of our staple here. So we got a good one for you. Pop, smoothies, or milkshakes. Start bench cut. Which one are you doing? Blake, I'll go to you first.
Ooh. A good smoothie is really good. I'd
Okay.
start a smoothie.
Okay.
Probably bench milkshake and cut pop.
Now, where are you getting your smoothie from, and what kind of like flavor are you getting?
I don't know.
That's a toughie, ain't it?
I usually make them, or Newton will make
Oh,
them.
he said, "Where am I going? The kitchen."
Yeah.
I say if it's a smoothie, it's got to be strawberry banana for me. That's the
Yeah.
only one
Yeah.
I can really mess with.
Honestly, God, I think the same. I think if
Yeah.
I'm going smoothie, it has to be strawberry banana.
Strawberry banana, hold the strawberries for real.
All right, now, Marcel, I'm going to use start bench cut. Pop, smoothie, or milkshakes?
Start smoothie.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm just like smoothies.
You like smoothies? Okay. He said, you know, I'm going to go with smoothies. I'm going to cut everything else.
Cut
Just-
everything
can I
else.
get smoothies, bench smoothies, cut everything? We will let that happen. Now, what kind of smoothie? Are you strawberry banana as well, or?
I usually go to McDonald's and get strawberry banana. Yeah.
Strawberry banana. All right. Well, shout out to McDonald's. Is Blake the one making them for you at McDonald's? You just call Blake, man, hey, buddy,
They don't let me
I'm
make
coming
those
through.
yet.
I need to make I need a smoothie ASAP. Okay, I got one more would you rather for you guys, and then we can get you out of here, okay?
Yes, sir.
Would you rather fly or never be able to get fat? So you can just eat whatever you want forever.
It's a weird question.
I know.
I don't know.
It was fly or run fast, but I feel like every single time I went with fly. I don't know.
I think that's what I'd do is fly.
Yeah, you go fly.
Probably.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
how could you not pick? It's kind of hard to put anything up against flying.
these guys are in high school. They already have the ability to eat whatever they want and
Yeah.
not gain weight. You know,
That's
So,
true. I feel like if I was like 50, I'd go with the never gain weight whenever I eat. All right, hey, so guys, I want to ask you one quick thing before we get out of here. What are we looking forward to the most this season? Is it just getting back out on the field? I mean, senior year, we're not taking any regrets out there, are we?
Yeah, I mean, just giving it our all for my last season. Just the plan, make memories with the guys. Just
Hell yeah.
Have that brotherhood.
Marcel?
Same with what Blake was saying.
Yeah, he's like, I'm ready to eat
It's
some
the
smoothies.
brotherhood.
Yeah. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, if you aren't tired of seeing these guys and you want to see Marcel throw people 10 yards every single play, you can watch it tomorrow night on our live stream, Ride the Wave. Guys, thank you for coming out, Blake and Marcel.
Hey,
Thank
appreciate
you.
you guys.
Thanks.
Hey,
Grab us
take some wings.
Yeah, take some wings,
pizza.
take some pizza. It's all there for you.
The wings are fire. Couldn't help myself. I already had a couple of them. So we got a plate right here if you want to take a couple of them.
Marcel's like, I gotta try one.
Honestly, we got an extra one if you guys just want to have all of them.
So yeah, man. After talking about that, it's going to be hard for me to go one way.
My favorite thing about Marcel is you can tell he's a defensive guy. Man, a few words.
Yes,
You know,
it's
he's
like
just ready to get
it's
out
like
there
what
and
do you
play.
like to win?
I like hitting people. I like to play.
Yeah, it's like those are the kind of people. If you're watching this and you're from Vinton County, those are the guys that you need to be scared about. So you know, we want to go into our pick'ems and stuff like that. But before we go do that, we have to talk to a man that is not only not of few words.
Man, that makes me jealous every time I look in the mirror
Yes.
when I wake up.
What is Adam Dean, the most handsomest coach in the SVC, the one, the only, Matt Hoops. What's going on, my man?
What's up, guys?
Hey, thank you for being on our inaugural Richie's Thursday Ride the Wave. As you can see, we can be quiet sometimes. We just can't hold true to it for too long.
It's tough to do.
It is. It's so, Matt, I want to ask you kind of the same thing I was asking Blake and Marcel there. One, we were saying, Marcel, man, a few words, that has to be the scariest player on the other side of the football there.
Don't let him fool you because a lot of times in practice we have to tell him to stop talking. But like in a setting like this, yeah, you're not going to get a whole lot out of him. But just a great kid. It's been really cool to watch him grow up. You know, obviously being in Blake's grade all the way through, and just to see the young man that he's turned into, and just a really good football player, and we're looking for big things from him this season.
Now, big things. We had big things last year. You know, we just talked to him winning the gold ball. Obviously, you have room to improve because you had that one loss last year. What is the – I don't want to say the expectations, but what's it like going into this year where, you know, you've been doing the hunting for so long. This year you kind of become the hunted.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like at Unioto we kind of always feel like we are hunted.
Yeah.
Whether we're good or not. It's, you know, it's a bullseye that we feel like we always have on us. But obviously this year a little bit more so than in the past. So, you know, we kind of just try to block out the noise. I think I heard Blake say it. We just really just try to focus on ourselves and make sure that we're the best we can possibly be because every Friday night we know we're going to get whoever we're playing's best. So as long as we can take care of us and play the way we want to play and, you know, give a great effort, we'll have to live with the results at the end of the night.
Yeah, and, you know, last year, whenever you guys played Vinton County, you lived with some pretty good results. You squeaked out another one there. You know, I was kind of going back and looking over the years. I really don't know if either one of you have won by double digits in the past maybe 10 years.
No.
Speak about going because, you know, this year you guys are kind of readjusting with a different quarterback. They lost a lot, bringing a lot back, but I feel like that's never really mattered with you guys. Kind of speak about the Unioto-Vinton County rivalry week one.
Well, I just think it's a good matchup. You know, both teams seem to be really physical, and you know that you're always going to get that out of Vinton County week one. And a lot of times, you know, it's who can make the fewest mistakes.
Yeah.
Especially that first game. And I think that'll be the case this year. We're breaking in a lot of new players. We have some guys that have some experience on Friday nights, but same with them. I think they lost 18 seniors from last year's group, and it'll be interesting. So we preached all week long, make sure we control what we can control, limit mistakes, limit turnovers, and usually that's who's going to win the game.
Yeah, and you know, that's kind of what happened last year. You guys kind of won that turnover battle. We came up with a big interception there. And then it was kind of big plays from you guys last year. You know, there's a lot of questions circling a lot of teams. I think the biggest one with you guys, obviously, is no-brainer, is that quarterback position. Without giving away too much, are we feeling good going into week one with that quarterback battle?
Well, you know, anytime you have a new quarterback after, you know, the same one for 3 years, it's going to be different, and,
right.
and it has been. But here over the last week or two, we've kind of settled down and become used to it. You know, you can do what you want in the summer in terms of 7-on-7 and practicing against each other. But until the scrimmages start to happen, you really don't know what you have.
Right.
And so we've been able to figure out some things the last couple weekends and moving forward into this Friday. So, you know, the hay's in the barn, so to speak, in terms of our practice and preparation this week. And we're hopefully going to be able to put a really good product on the field tomorrow night.
Yeah,
The Hayes in the barn. I'm going to start using that one, Coach. I'm going to start using that one.
not only good looks, but he has good one-liners there. Now, I'm hoping that you guys don't take the top off too much in that first week, because if you do, my fantasy team is going to get smoked. Are we looking?
Oh, you have Vinton County's defense.
No, I have Bill having a lot of your wide receivers.
Oh.
Yes. So that's what I was kind of getting there.
I
Last
will also get smoked because I do have Vinton County.
I'll make a note of that.
he's going to turn
I'm
around on
looking
every
for-
touchdown point right at you.
I'm looking for a low score game.
Maybe a 3-0 win if we could
Yeah.
get that in there.
A tie, ideally, for we'll both be happy. I
Yeah.
know. You wouldn't be happy
No.
with that. It's like kissing your sister.
It's not a soccer
game.
game.
Yeah.
Now, Coach, I want to ask you, you bring up soccer, we bring up the kicking game. One thing that has always been great coming out of Unio is your guys' kickers. Obviously, for me, it goes the first one I not really remember, but I was close with Nick Kozak.
Oh,
that
yeah.
kid, not only could he kick, but he could lay the heat on somebody.
Nick was a big, strong athlete.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
for sure.
So kind of talk to me, what's it kind of like knowing you always have a kicker in your back pocket where you get in that range, maybe, there is 10 seconds and you're in field goal range tie game. You have that kicker you can trot out there. What's it like having that kind of weapon, especially in the high school
It's
games?
really nice. The first year I started coaching 5 years ago, one of the first things I did. Back then, Brandon Haynes, one of my really good friends, was coaching the soccer team, and they had always kind of had that in the past at Uniota, and Brandon and I had always talked about, hey, we want to keep that going. And his son was a freshman, Lucas, who was in the same grade as Newton.
Yeah.
And so obviously for the last 4 years we've had a really good kicker. And
Yes.
Lucas battled a few injuries throughout his high school career, especially his junior year, and we were able to fill in with a classmate of his, River Pettigrew, who ended up being the conference kicker of the year.
Oh, God.
So Lucas was the conference kicker of the year his freshman, sophomore year,
Yeah.
and then River was the kicker of the year his junior year. And then they did away with that award last year, and they just a special teams award now. But we were fortunate enough to have Ashton Crace win that award. So,
Yeah.
just being able to have those guys. The goal for me is to get one kicker per grade level.
Okay.
So that you always have one. And we've got that this year. We don't have any in the senior class, but we do have 2 kickers in the junior class, a kicker in the sophomore class, and a kicker in the freshman class. So you always have, someone there and capable in case someone does get nicked up. Playing 2 varsity sports is tough. Just like tonight at practice, we were able to have 2 of the 4 kickers there, so we could have a good practice and have some special teams practice tonight as well. So.
I will say, I feel like you need 10 kickers to replace Lucas King, because that kid's leg was an absolute unit.
Lucas Haynes.
Lanes. What'd I say?
King.
Canes? Canes? I was thinking of
Lucas-
chicken.
Lucas
Dude, there's
King.
chicken
I
here.
think you
Canes.
said
Canes.
Lucas King.
Oh, no. We don't talk about him on this show anymore. Now,
You combined King and Haynes and got Canes.
Canes. There we go.
That's what you
All
did.
right. So, hey, Coach, it is the Ride the Wave show. We're going to have the hardball questions. You kind of got a little sneak peek into it before you came on here. So,
There's going to be one extra one on here. I'm
Uh-oh.
trying to
Add another
at
one.
you, yeah.
okay.
Bonus points?
Yeah.
Bonus. There we go. All right. So, first one's going to be a would you rather. Would you rather eat a pound of mayo
Yeah,
or a pound of
This
mustard?
is the worst question you guys have ever asked.
I know.
I mean, it's not even close. This is the worst question. Mayonnaise is out.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're going to.
I'm
So I'm
drinking
the only.
I'm drinking the mustard.
That's exactly what Adam said.
I feel like you can get it done faster.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like the tart.
Bad question.
The sweet tart. Oh, I couldn't do the mustard. All right, we got a start bench cut for you. Pop, smoothie, milkshake. I have what I think I'm
I'm
going to say
going
in my
up.
head.
Man, my thing is this. Milkshakes and smoothies sometimes are very similar. I don't drink coffee, so every now and then you got to have some caffeine at some point.
Okay.
This is tough. This is a tough question.
Yeah.
But
Hey, we asked the hard ones here.
I'll start smoothie.
Okay.
I'll bench. I'll figure out a way to live without pop. I'll bench milkshake.
So
cut
I
pop.
figured that you would cut pop, just being the
Yeah.
football coach in you, but
Yeah.
I didn't. I definitely had milkshakes first, ahead of smoothies for
Yeah.
you. So you surprised me on that one. Okay, last one. This one's not a good one either. Would you rather fly or never get fat? So you could just sit here and eat a whole pizza, not have to worry about it.
have the ability to fly myself.
Yeah, so like you could just stand here and then on the way home you're just flying back down to Ross County.
Or you get
Or you can
high
sit there and
school
eat that-
metabolism
yeah.
back. You know,
You
eat
can eat that
whatever
whole
you
pizza
want.
and act like
That's
nothing
nice
just happened.
to
Yeah.
have that.
He asked the kids, and I was like, "They're not the people to ask. They already got that superpower."
I think it'd be fun to fly. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna fly.
It would be hard not to fly,
Yeah.
honest to God. Adam, what's yours?
All right, so a woman was born in 1975, and a woman died in 1975. She was 22 years old. How did that happen?
Say, a woman was born in 1975.
And died in 1975.
Yeah. Well, 'cause
22 years old.
listen to you, trying to.
I don't know
Stop
this.
me.
I was not ready for
Woman
this. I'm trying to figure it out.
I saw
born-
it right before we came.
Great. A woman was born in 1975.
Yep,
The same woman.
So
The same
That's the
woman
catch.
is not the same woman.
it's not the same woman.
No,
yeah, that's
so-
the catch.
A woman was born in 1975,
And a woman was born or died in
so
1975.
it's not the same woman.
That is it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the same
There we
woman.
go. Hey,
It was stumping a lot of people online.
it was
Trust me.
something-
right here.
He was like, hey, got it all of it. You think I got this coaching job because of good looks? No, I got it because of the brain.
The horse's name was Friday.
Yeah.
Coach, what were we expecting going into this Friday? It's going to be a hard physical game?
Always is. You know, it always is. You talked about last year's game, a 1-point win. I talked a little bit about minimizing mistakes. In fact, and you talked about big plays. So the way we scored last year were we hit a big screen pass early on. Vinton County.
Big screen pass. I mean, you broke through
Yeah.
a bunch of
Cody
guys.
Braden, big 70-yarder.
Mm-hmm.
And then Vinton County turned it over. David Long with an interception. The next play, we hit cut right on a seam.
Yeah.
Going into half, and then coming out of half, Vinton County fumbles on the one. We score. So off of every mistake they made, we capitalized on it, and we were able to block the extra point to win by one. So
Yeah.
I think it's going to be the same type of deal tomorrow. Really physical football game, and whoever can make the fewest mistakes, I think will come out on top.
Well, Coach, I feel like maybe one of us might be rooting for you on the broadcast, but it's kind of hard to vouch for somebody else.
I don't
here.
know. I don't
So
know
I
here.
say-
But I don't
had to
blame
wear
you.
this today because I couldn't show up
I would
tomorrow
be,
wearing this.
you know, it'd be less. I'd think less of you if you didn't support them.
Hey,
So
I
you got to
appreciate
stay
it.
true to your colors, and I don't blame you for that.
Ladies and gentlemen, not only the defending champ for the SVC, but probably the most handsome coach in the
Stop.
area, Matt Hoops. Thanks,
Thanks,
Coach.
Hey, also grab some wings, some pizza as well.
He said, I didn't pick the never get fat. I picked the flying. Well, you know, always a good time to have
Always
Matt
a
on.
joy. Always a
But,
joy.
you know, it's time to get to our celebrity, Adam. It's time to get to our pick'ems. It's time to get to the only man that ever hit the half-court shot for $100. Mr. Red Streak Ben Lauterbach. The water boy is here.
Press to impress too.
Dressed to impress. Ben, first we gotta ask, where'd you get the jersey, and why did you decide that was the attire that had to be on tonight?
Well, Amazon,
Oh, okay.
and tonight there's no games tonight, so
So he went.
and,
neutral.
and with the pick'ems, I'm like, you know what, I can't really, I don't have a mascot head to put on
Yeah.
or anything like
Yeah.
that yet. Real quick,
Yes.
I brought my sports analyst Kime with me.
Okay.
Mr. Kime Shea.
Kime Shea, welcome to the show. We gotta give you a round of applause as well.
I've been pretty busy,
Yeah.
working 2 jobs, and I got a very spoiled 16-year-old that I don't miss anything.
Okay.
So there's a lot of these games
Yeah.
that I knew nothing about.
Cool. So you're just gonna randomly pick, and he will also pick.
No, not even randomly pick.
Oh.
He did his research.
Oh. Okay. Oh.
Because I'm not going to come on the air and look like an idiot.
Well, that's why you wear the Bobby Boucher jersey. man.
So,
Ben, before we get into these pick'ems, we want to thank you for helping us get here to Richie's. It's a great establishment. We're not going to do it justice, though. Kind of give these people some insight on what they're missing on not being here.
well, they're missing out on some great food.
Great food.
I
As
see you
you
guys
can
have
see.
some pizza here.
Amazing
You got some
food.
wings.
Yeah, it's not going to stand. a chance
Like
after
I
this.
told Nathan, I'm like, dude, these guys will come down for pizza and beer.
Literally.
It's just
we got the pizza. Now
Man.
where's the beer?
I mean, you can't go wrong with anything on the menu.
No.
Really
And
cannot.
little shout out to Nathan and Michelle too. Tomorrow night's game at Piketon, with COVID being over and all the high schools, now charging.
Yeah.
So now it's adults and kids getting charged. Richie's is actually sponsoring tomorrow night's game at Piketon, so all kids get in free.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
A round of applause for Richie's. Nice,
Yeah, so,
nice.
Nathan and Michelle stepped up, and so Richie's Backyard Barbecue tomorrow night's Richie's night down at Piketon Field.
We did. Hey, we are always always glad to see people being able to help kids go to the games. That's what we.
When I came in here earlier, Nathan was here.
Yeah, we got to talk to Nathan a little bit
So
there.
I
He
had
said
to,
he was going to watch all the show, but then something happened. He had to hurry up and leave. So
his daughter has a volleyball game tonight.
Oh, he has to go be super
I was
dad.
trying to make
Yeah.
it
So he's
seem
gonna
like,
watch it.
He skedaddled because
Yeah.
you got here.
Well, that too. But we skedaddled because I thought Nathan was at a volleyball game, so we snuck out of work to come down here.
Oh, nice.
And then the boss seen us. But
He walks in. What are you doing here?
That doesn't make sense now.
isn't this the warehouse? Wait, yeah,
It says Richie's on
Yeah.
the door.
I'm lost. I didn't know where to go.
All right, well, Ben, before we get into our pick'ems, we always got to ask the hard questions to our guests before we get into anything, all right?
Yes,
Okay.
it is hard being bold and beautiful at the same time.
But you still somehow
I
pull
do
it off.
I do it.
Okay, so I got to ask you, would you rather eat a pound of mayonnaise or a pound of mustard? We'll ask you both this. You both got
Is
to
it mayo or Miracle Whip?
Man.
Either one you want to pick.
Miracle Whip, yes.
You'd eat a pound of that before. Okay, so I'm finally not. I was the only one to pick mayonnaise.
Oh no. I'll do the Miracle Whip, and we'll.
See, I'm a hater of both Miracle Whip and mayonnaise, so either or I'm out.
What about you, my man?
I don't know if I could do a pound of Miracle Whip.
Yeah?
I might be able to do like just Hellman's mayonnaise, but not Miracle Whip.
Okay,
I'd
so you're
probably
going mayonnaise too. Okay,
Have you ever
alright.
tried to put mayo in these locks?
I have
Oh,
It'll bring out the shine, and
Yeah, smell gets me, man.
The
I can't do it. It just smells like
I can't.
nasty.
I can't wait to see you next time.
we gonna bring some.
A little pack, and I'm just gonna be like,
Ooh,
squirt it, little.
ooh.
Well,
Okay,
I'm not coming back to Richie. No, I'm kidding.
next one. Who is your guys' favorite superhero? Mine's Iron Man. I'm pretty basic with it, but I feel like he's the only one that could maybe be a real superhero. Maybe Batman. Batman's kind of like a cool
Which
looking
Batman?
cop.
Christian Bale, Michael Keaton. I mean,
Oh, you can just pick.
I mean,
if
I'm
you
a
pick
Michael-
Batman, you can pick whatever one
I'm
you
a
want.
Michael Keaton Batman
Yeah?
fan, but I mean, at DC. I mean, if we're going to go Marvel, I mean,
You can go any superhero you want.
I'm Doctor Strange.
Oh,
I'm a Doctor Strange fan.
okay. I didn't see that one coming.
Yeah,
What about you, my man?
I'd probably go Batman. He's just mysterious.
All right.
He's
I,
just
pretty, which one,
mysterious.
I don't think I've ever asked you, what is your favorite superhero? That's a hard
Oh,
question
dude,
for
it's-
you.
It's a tough one. It's
Yeah.
a tough one.
Too hard to put you on the spot, isn't it?
Pink Powerpuff.
Maybe Homeland? Nah. he's a menace to society.
Okay, we got another one for you. Start, bench, cut, pop, smoothie, milkshakes. Ben, you go first.
I just had a jumbo chocolate milkshake on my way to work tonight from next door at Raiders Dairy Bar.
So you're probably going to go start that.
Yeah.
Okay. And
I
then
thought, for me, I'm not a healthy person. Milkshake is the start. Clear
I'm not
start.
going to lie to you. My start has to be pop. I'm sorry. I love pop way too much.
I'd probably go milkshake star.
Milkshake start. Okay.
I'd put pop on the bench and then smoothies.
What's your bench and cut?
I'm cutting smoothies.
Yeah,
I'm
bitch
not a
pop.
healthy person.
Yeah.
I would not. I would bench the smoothie, but ski is I can't. So I got
Yeah.
bench pop.
Yeah.
So
And
cut
I'm
the
going to go
smoothies.
bench on milkshakes because I drink those a lot more than I do a smoothie. Just because I tried to make a smoothie one time and it pissed me off. So I just got rid
But
of it.
how many smoothies did you make at Applebee's?
Oh,
I made a lot of
it's-
milkshakes.
Oh,
Yeah.
At
yeah.
Applebee's, it's just ice and you pour the already.
Yeah,
concentrate.
it's
You don't
not a
got-
real
There's no
smoothie.
fruit, nothing. It's just fake.
Yeah. Yeah. Thing that's loud as shit, dude. That thing is so
If
loud.
somebody ordered a smoothie, everybody in the restaurant knew.
Yeah, literally. Okay, last one. Would you rather fly or never get fat? So you could eat a whole pizza and it wouldn't even phase you.
Are you calling me
I
fat
mean,
now?
No,
Oh.
I got this for. So like you get full, you just wouldn't gain any weight.
Or I could do what?
Fly.
Like Superman?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm flying.
Dude.
It's an easy one.
Yeah, so I can never put flying in again because it's just over. Well, which one would you pick?
Oh, I'd go fly.
Yeah, okay, because you can't not pick flying.
Because the stipulation was I get a fly no matter what, so no matter how fat I am.
Yeah, if you
Exactly.
told me
Yeah.
told me fly, but I could never eat anything again, I'd still pick fly.
Yeah, no,
And
wait.
I just starve and
Just
die. At least I was flying for a while. I tried to go out while I was in the air, so I took
So
somebody
you
out when I
did-
fell.
But you could have smoothies and mayo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so you could go with a mayo smoothie. There you go.
Yeah,
All
that would
right.
be awful.
Well, I think it's time to get into these pick'ems. How about you guys?
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will start with Adam. Go back, and then I will go last. The first game that we have up is Eastern versus Miller. Last year, Eastern went undefeated and were their conference champs. Also beat Miller 43-15 last year with Eric Manley and a big addition with Carson Peters at the wide receiver position. Adam, who you going with here?
I gotta go Eastern. I like everything that they're about, man.
Yeah, no, 100%. Ben?
Oh, Pike County, Eastern.
All righty.
My boy Declan Davis, number 44.
Okay.
I think history repeats itself. I don't see Miller putting up a fight, honestly.
I think it's going to be worse than last year. I think
Yeah.
it might be a 50-15 at this point. Eastern all the way. And just a little insight, Eastern Eagles head coach Scott Tomlinson will be here next week for our week 2. So, yeah, give him – there we go.
And Scott does love Richie's.
He does. He
So-
does. Okay, game number 2, probably the biggest game of week 1. It always is.
I have this one as a question mark on mine.
Ironton at Wheelersburg. Ironton has Sean Terry, the Division I recruit, going to Missouri, a big playmaker.
They have won 4 straight, correct?
I do believe so. That's what I saw today. Doing my checks, it does believe Ironton has won the last 4. They've been close. Last year they only won 17-14. But Berg actually made it to the 4th round of the playoffs, while Ironton only made it to the 3rd round. Both, though, being put out by Harvest Prep pretty handily.
Harvest Prep had the toughest.
Yes.
They had a gauntlet to go.
Yes. And then Berg will be basically playing with nothing to lose here. I mean, they are heavy underdogs going into week 1. Adam, who do you have? I know you have a question mark.
Give me Berg on that because it's at Berg.
Okay.
And if they're the underdogs, nothing to lose. You put them in a corner. They're just like it's like a caged dog.
Yeah.
They're gonna bite.
Yeah. Ben.
Well, we discussed this at Paint Valley last year at basketball season. I'm originally from Memphis. I'm an alumni of Memphis. Berg was my rival. I will never, ever, ever choose Wheelersburg for anything.
Yep.
If your pick'ems was if I had to die or root for Wheelersburg, I would die.
We'd be at Ben's funeral today. So you're picking Berg?
No, I'm going with Ironton.
Something about those schools that start with a W.
And I am shooting for 100-3 win.
All right. Kai, how about you?
I also went with Ironton. It's hard to beat a team 3 times in a row, let alone 4. But I think Ironton just has that it factor. I know Wheelersburg, obviously, these underdog teams, they compete a lot harder. But I think Ironton will just out-talent them, honestly.
I think Ironton has hell of talent. I think Sean Terry might be one of the best wide receivers we see come through here in a long time. But, Ben, you're going to hate me. I can't pick against a team playing at home with nothing to lose, man. I can't. I got to go with Wheelersburg here. We had their coach on earlier in the summer. He's a guy that I would want to play for. I can't not go with Berg here as much as I hate to break your heart, Ben. I think Wheelersburg, I think it's the same score. I think it's 17-14. I think it's just reversed this year. I think it's in Berg's favor. All right, let's go on to the FAC, or as we call it, the FAC. Jackson at Logan, the first one up. I can go on and on and on. I'm actually going to pick it, but Jackson's going to win by 40.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I think,
That's if they pull their starters out. They never start their starters. They
Exactly.
start the second string.
I had a bunch of notes here. You know, they lost Cade Wolford. They have no one. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Jackson by 40. So I think we're all clear there. Miami Trace versus Waverly. Now, this is going to be another week 1 matchup. That was a huge one last year. It went down to the wire, 27-26. Miami Trace won. Actually was down the whole game until about 2 to 3 minutes to go. A nice little hook and ladder from both teams kind of turned that game. What does Waverly look at like without Jace Hurd is the big question mark kind of going into there. But is Miami Trace ready to take that next step and try to compete with Jackson? Adam, who do you have in this Miami Trace versus Waverly
this
matchup?
is the other question mark that I had, just because I think these teams are pretty evenly matched. As much as I want to go Trace in this one, I'm gonna have to go Waverly. I think it's just gonna be their get back. I think they got a little bit more riding on it because they're trying to get a little bit of revenge for last year.
Yeah.
Without Hurd, Trace by 7.
Okay.
I also have Trace. It's hard.
Okay.
It's hard.
I think I didn't even write one down. I think I'm going to go against you guys on this one. I think I'm going to go Waverly. I'm picking more with my heart than my head here. I think Miami Trace is a good one.
That's a big head.
Yeah, that's essentially what I did.
Yeah, I'm going to go Waverly just because I just picked up David Sparks in my fantasy league, so I need him to go off. So I'm going to go Waverly here. So Tony's pick on this one. So he had picked Eastern and Ironton. So he was with you guys on those ones. And then he also picked Jackson. He goes Miami Trace here. So Tony might know what he's talking about a little bit more than we are, but
I like Tony.
Yeah.
I like Tony.
Okay, next game up, we have Hillsborough at Western Brown. Western Brown won this game last year 38-27, but the rest of the season wasn't kind to them. They finished 3-8, while Hillsborough finished 5-6. My big question going into this game is, does Hillsborough have any passing game at all? And if they do, are we going to even see it this game? Adam, what are your thoughts?
Now, is this at Hillsborough?
It is at Western Brown.
Yeah, so I still got Hillsborough winning this one, but I think it's just because I don't think we're going to see their passing attack. I think it's going to be a run-heavy game because that's just kind of what their thing is, and I think they're going to control the pace, and I think they're going to edge this one out.
All righty, Ben.
I knew nothing about this game, so I went to Kime on this one. So Kime went with Western Brown. I'm going with Western Brown.
All righty.
I got 100% faith in my analyst here.
Western Brown does have a very, very good quarterback, which they normally do.
And they're at home.
Yes, and it being at home. I think it's a lot closer than last year. I think it's more of like a 38-35 or maybe a 20-14, but I do think Western Brown sketches this one out for him as well, getting another one. Going into the next.
I think if Hillsborough doesn't control the tempo, it's not a close one.
Yes.
If they'll either win a close one or they'll get beat the hell down.
I do think you're right. I think that what worries me is that I think Hillsborough is going to be so determined to establish that run game. Yeah. But Western Brown, they're an Eastern time offense. They will just take the top off. They come out up 14-0. It's going to be hard for Hillsborough to climb back into that one.
So if they can keep it close and keep it low, I think Hillsborough gets it. But that's
all righty.
We'll
and
see.
then
we'll see.
Tony on that one picked Hillsborough. All righty, so he's with you on that one.
I used to like Tony.
Now we have two more left in the fact. The next one coming up, I feel like this is going to be another one like Jackson. We have Washington Courthouse at London. London for me.
Yeah.
Let's give a little backstory. Last year, London won 62-14. That was the only notes that I had.
Yeah.
London that's the only note that my analyst has.
Yes.
So I'm like
London is a D3 college.
Yeah, London might go to –
and that's a bad day.
Yeah, London might win state. So we're going to go with London on that one. A team that had the pleasure, I guess, of opening with London last year was Chillicothe. Not having to do that this year, though. They're going against Bloom Carroll. It is pretty much like Revenge of the Sith going on here. They got the son, coach at Bloom Carroll, and the dad, coach at Chillicothe. So we're going to see, who
has the high ground.
On this one, I definitely think Bloom Carroll might be the Obi-Wan Kenobi.
That's another Division
high
III
ground
college there.
But
we took BC.
Chillicothe, they coming in. They have Sean Smith. Where does he lie? We know that he's going to be a big thing for them. Cam Badger is going to be an absolute stout on the defensive side of the ball. But Bloom Carroll's Bloom Carroll. 10-3 last year, went to the third round of the playoffs, lost a close one. Adam, who are you going to go with?
Yeah, that's Bloom Carroll by 1,000.
Okay.
Bloom Carroll by 1,001.
Okay, yeah. I am going to have to take Bloom Carroll. I'll take them not by 1,000, maybe 100. But okay, so let's get into the best conference that has probably ever existed in all of time, the SVC. We're going to go to that. Yes, the Kyle is getting in with it quick. There we go.
I thought you said SOC. I'm sorry.
So the SVC, we're going to start with this game because it's a nice transition between the FAC to the SVC. Adena versus McLean. Adam, thoughts on this game? Who do you think is going to win?
I got Adena in this one. I think I don't know. I think with the change of pace for their offense, the way they're going to change their offense, and just having Drexler and actually being able to utilize them, I think Adena is going to kind of edge this one out.
Okay.
I think it's another one that if they can keep it kind of close and low scoring, it's Adena. I don't know a whole lot about McLean, but I just don't trust Adena in a shootout.
Okay, Ben.
McLean.
All right.
I also have McLean.
I went kind of back and forth on this one. Joey Francis and Nate Dreitzler are going to be big focal points in that Adena offense just because who is their quarterback? It might be Nate Dreitzler. I mean, we don't know. Just Wildcat the entire time. McLean won last year 41-23. They have Owen Sykes moving to their running back this year. Just too many question marks for Adena for me on this one. I'm going to have to go with McLean as well. But I won't be surprised if Adena comes out with that Week 1 win. So I will add that one to there. Next game is going to be a pretty big rivalry as well. You could say Uniota, Vinton County-esque. We have Zane Trace versus Logan Elm. Logan Elm won last year 39-23. Gunner the Stunner, also known as Gunner McCullough, but we don't call him that here. He's going to be finally starting from day one as their quarterback. They got Cy Stu going over that running back. Still have Aiden Dunn in the wide receiver position with a couple of other running backs in the depth there. Elm went 9-2 last year, went out in the first round against Indian Valley, 48-27. But we all know Zane Trace had that absolute epic playoff game. We're just on the wrong side of it against Purcell Marion, losing as the buzzer went off 30-28 on a last-second field goal. Adam, who do you have winning this Zane Trace Logan Elm game? It is at Zane Trace.
Yeah, I say as much as I want to go Logan Elm, like my brain is telling me go Logan Elm, my heart is telling me Zane Trace.
Yeah.
I want to see Gunner pull off the first day one start, day one win. But yeah, I'm going Zane Trace.
Okay.
My
Ben.
heart is going Zane Trace.
I trust Kime to feed my dogs while I'm on vacation. He says Logan Elm, I'm going Logan Elm.
Okay, Kime, Logan Elm, and why?
I don't know. With Langley, he's gone. I think it's just hard to throw a new quarterback in there, and
Especially week one,
to be as consistent. I could see it later down the road. If this game was week 5 or 6, it could definitely be Zane Trace, but I think I'm just set on Logan Elm. Just new
Okay.
quarterback.
I am
Definitely not a bad choice.
I'm
for sure.
definitely with Adam. My brain is telling me pick Logan Elm. Logan Elm is going to win this game, but I'm picking Zane Trace just because Gunna the Stunner. I'm so high on him as a quarterback. Yeah. I think he might be the dark horse for Player of the Year in the SVC just because if he steps in for Zane Trace and pretty much does what they have done for the past 3 years and just completely takes over, you got to put him up there for Player of the Year. So I think we're going to go with Zane Trace on that
Game's
one.
definitely like a crazy woman. Your heart's telling you yes, your mind's telling you no, but
you got to go with your heart on this one.
But next week, if you guys need Kime's number, I'll hook you up and you guys can call Kime.
Hey, we'll have him
And
call
he can
into
drop
the
the
show,
knowledge,
yeah.
yes, for sure.
Ben, you're right. Kime knows it all. Let's just.
Okay, we're going to our next one. Huntington at East Clinton. East Clinton won last year 12-0. But I will be completely honest with you guys. Last night, there's an accident on Highway 23. It was actually, I think, with Coach Beeler's dad and his brother. They are A-OK. It was a great rally with the community, making sure that everybody's okay there. And I'm not going to lie to you, I was feeling Huntington before this game. With that accident, with the way that I saw these guys play last week in that scrimmage, I think that Huntington comes out, smacks East Clinton in the mouth, and starts off 1-0 for the first time in a long time with Coach Beeler there. Adam, what are your thoughts?
I'm gonna have to agree with you. I don't know. I can't speak for the rest of the season, but I think this first game is gonna be a Huntington win.
Ben?
Well, you didn't give us that game.
Oh,
so
that's
we
my
couldn't
bad.
Study it. Who'd you go with, Adam?
I went with Huntington.
I'll go with East Clinton.
He's all right. We got to bounce out there.
I'll go Huntington. On this.
You go Huntington on this one?
I'll agree with you guys.
I saw them play Manchester the other day, and I don't know what it was, but Manchester looked like a 7th grade team compared to Huntington the other night. So they got me really excited. I think I can't go against them. Next game, we got Southeastern at Sciotaville East. Don't know a whole lot about Sciotaville East. I do know that Southeastern's been scheduling good games week 1 for the past few years. I'm excited really to see what Cheadle, Cutright, and Pfeiffer are going to do out there. Mainly excited to see Cheadle get me a bunch of fantasy points. Need to get him at least 3 or 4 touchdowns, long touchdowns. I'm talking 60, 70 yards. And so I think I'm going to have to go with Southeastern on this one.
Yeah, I would have to go with Southeastern just because I'm hoping the 3 names that you just mentioned, they're stars, so to speak.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they just kind of go off.
Yep. And it is at Sciotaville East, if that goes in your guys' picks.
All right, SOC.
Yeah.
Best conference down in Southern Ohio. Go Tartans.
All right, he's picking Sciotaville East. What about you, Kyle?
I went Southeastern just because
Southeastern.
He's that it.
Yeah, dude, Cheadle. We had him at the fantasy draft, and, he's that kind of guy, real quiet, not really, he dressed nice, but, not, big. But when he walked in the room, you knew, the energy changed. So I'm hoping to see big things out of him. Next, we will go Westfall versus Madison Plains. Westfall mopped the floor last year, 38-12, but they do have that new quarterback, A.J. Pottix. What is he going to look like? Logan Stepp is expecting him to be a 2,000-yard passer just like Wickline was, but that's asking a lot out of a new quarterback. Adam, where do you think this game ends up?
I think it's going to be a lot closer than last year, but I think Westfall still edges out a win here.
Okay, Ben.
Westfall is my Wheelersburg of the SVC, so not Westfall.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Westfall will take it, honestly.
Yeah.
I think it'll be closer, but I think Westfall.
I'll go with Westfall. I do think it's going to be about the same last year. I would, honestly, God, if it was 38-12 again, I wouldn't be shocked. Yeah. So I think it's going to be Westfall. Now let's get to our big 3 to close out the show. First up, Paint Valley at Blanchester. Blanchester goes 8-4 last year as Paint Valley goes 9-3. Paint Valley won 35-14. They got that 3-headed monster with Preston and Carson and Braylon. But what does that O-line look like? That's the biggest question surrounding the Bearcats. Everybody's been asking all offseason, where are we going with that offensive line? Adam, what is your pick for Paint Valley at Blanchester?
So I think Paint Valley is going to get this one because they got off to a hot start last year. I think they kind of do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Their only really hiccups last year was 2 conference games.
Yeah, they only lost to Zane Trace and Unio the last 2 weeks of the season.
And I don't think they lost a lot of seniors, right? They only lost a few.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to say just because they kept a lot of the same team, they're going to be basically the same identity.
Yeah.
They're not looking to rebrand. I think Paint Valley's going to. I don't think they're going to edge this one out. I think it's going to be kind of a little lopsided.
All right, Ben.
Paint Valley.
Yeah, you said the offensive line issues, and personally, I don't think Braylon Robertson really cares. 'Cause you just give him that ball, and he's going to run right through your chest. So.
We were talking the other day. I was like, Braylon Robinson could just not have a line, just shotgun snap to him. He's going to be all right.
Yeah,
so,
I think they'll be okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Paint Valley by 1 million. Don't even really need to. Now I was surprised to see Blanchester's record last year because, to put it nicely, didn't look too hot last year in week 1.
The first half might have looked good, but then they just fell apart.
Yeah, they did. So, but then for them to piece together to go 8-4, that was exciting. Now, next game, Piketon versus Northwest. Piketon is looking to bounce back after kind of having not the end of the season that they were looking to have last year. You got Golian, you got Fount, you got Wilson. You got a lot of returning guys here for this team. The big downfall is Zane Brownfield being out, but I do believe that they can maybe not fill that void on defense, but at least get a guy to step in there and kind of hold down the fort. Adam, who are you going with, Piketon versus Northwest?
I think this one's going to be Piketon again. I think Piketon is another one of those teams that doesn't really have to search for their identity a lot. They got a hole or two to fill on the defensive side, but yeah, I think Piketon wins this one pretty handily.
Nice.
Oh, Piketon, and I'll be there.
Yeah.
Speaking of Zane Brownfield, they're actually going to honor him tomorrow night, too.
Oh, really?
His, career sacks or career tackles, sorry.
Or just being an absolute badass, honoring him for that. That would be an amazing one.
And it being Piketon,
Yep.
my daughter cheers and everything. So I'm going with Golian 2+ touchdowns and Wilson will break 100.
That's not good for you because they are both on Creekside, so that could be bad fantasy-wise. Kym, who are you going with?
Honestly, with Zane being gone, it sucks. But I've heard very positive things about our defense. I've heard our defense has been tearing up our offense.
Oh, okay.
So, hopefully our offense is still good. But I've heard our defense has been handling our offense a lot more times than not. Obviously, I've got Piketon. Northwest isn't very good. So.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Piketon, but I think it's kind of what you're saying where the defense has been handling the offense. That could be good for you guys because a great offense, that's just telling you how good that defense is going to be this year. And that was, I think, what they were missing last year. They were playing 3 great quarters of defense. I felt like it was that, the fourth quarter or the second quarter there last year that they get, a little too comfortable. And then, the Paint Valley game, they were up. That definitely should have been a win. They got a little too comfortable. And Paint Valley comes back.
Hurts.
Yeah. So, all right, now the game of the night, the game of the week, the game that we will be broadcasting next, 24 hours now? Yeah, in about 24 hours, we will be closing in on the first quarter of this game. Unioto versus Vinton County, 2 teams that absolutely hate each other. Vinton County lost a lot last year. Unioto really just looking to replace their quarterback, but, man, is it going to be a huge hole to fill. Adam, who you going with, Unioto, Vinton County? I know you got to be feeling their sermons.
Yeah. So honestly, I wouldn't even say we really hate each other. It's one of those rivalries where you kind
respectful
of
hate. Yeah,
hate
each other for a week, and then the next week we're totally good
that
friends.
being said, Vikings winning this one.
Yeah. Ben?
Unioto.
All right.
I've got Unioto as well.
Was Coach Hoop still here to see that I picked Unioto?
He is. He is still down there so we will make sure that he also knows. Unioto's won a few years in a row. Vinton County is looking to get back. They're looking to find their identity. It's going to be hard to go against these Vinton County Vikings because of the momentum that they're coming off from last year. But give me those Sherman tanks, baby. I am going with Unioto as my pick to win their game next week. Man, I still think I look good with the helmet on.
I think you look a lot better with that.
I know. It covers up my ugly face.
Yes.
That's the biggest helmet they had, too. And
the sad part is the biggest helmet doesn't always fit the biggest head.
And we can't get it off.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching into our first episode here at Richie's. We got the picture. Don't worry. You thought the picture wasn't enough. We got the jersey. Tanks are going to be winning this one by a close one. I think they win it by 6, but I think the Tanks win it home and they go 1-0 this year. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure that you
I picked you. They didn't.
Yeah, if you
by
guys
the
can't
way.
if you guys can't hear, Clay said that Union is going to win by 6 because his mic is
There
still
we go.
off.
Thank you for watching in on our first episode at Richie's. If you can hear me, here you go. And we will be live tomorrow, 6:55, for the first week of football. Ladies and gentlemen, football is officially back. Thank
Let's
you
go.
guys. Peace out, Girl Scout.